Hi everyone, it's Eddie here. Eddie Makes Art. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to work on this month's Makers Color Combo, hosted by Carrie the Crafter and Paula Keene over on the Facebook group Makers of Mixed Media, Art and Artists. So I'm going to do 3 different prints using the 3 different colors in the prompt, which is Nautilus, Ochre, and Crimson. You can also use black and white and a metallic, and there's a mark making element to this color combo this year, and this month it's crosses or X's. What I'd like to do is create 3 different backgrounds and use those backgrounds to create 3 different collages. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is get my gel plate out. For the first color, I'm using my yellow ochre. This is from Lucas Krill. I'm adding some titanium white because the color that is on the swatch is a little bit lighter than what I have in the bottle. So yeah, I'm just going to use some titanium white, lighten it up, and that should do the trick. But I want to make it a little bit sparkly, so I'm going to add some Inca Gold and mix all that up. Today I'm using my 9x14 gel plate because the rice paper that I'm printing on is roughly 9.5 inches by 13 inches. So yeah, I needed the big boy out today. Essentially what I'm doing is I am creating 3 solid backgrounds, each representing a color from the combo, and I'm going to then add marks to them and create a collage paper. So then I can then create my collages at the end. Look at that. That little bit of gold really added a nice little sheen to that print. Let's move on to the Nautilus. And for Nautilus, I'm starting with a primary blue and an aqua green. I'm adding a little bit of Prussian blue here to darken it up a little bit because it's still a little bit too bright, I think. The Nautilus is more of a darker toned blue. I'm still not satisfied with how it looks, so I'm adding a little bit of indigo blue to Lucas Krill paint, and I think this is where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and slap that on the plate. Now this one didn't have any shimmery stuff in it, but we're going to add some shimmery later. Don't worry. And I'm doing my best, I think, to give you all the paint colors and brands that I can. If there is one that that I've missed or that you want to know more about, feel free to drop that in the comments. You see those lines on the plate? That's because I didn't do a very good job brayering. For the crimson, I'm using Carmine, which is by Winsor Newton Galleria, and I'm adding a little bit of sap green. And the reason I add the green to the red, and usually if you mix red and green, you're gonna get brown because they are opposite colors on the color wheel. However, you can use a little bit of green into your red paints just to give them a little darker hue. Now this has gone a little bit too dark. I added too much green. You got to be careful. So I went ahead and just added a little bit more of the carmine to bring it back to the color I want. As I brayer out this red mix, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a perfect match to the crimson that's on the swatch card. All right, so this is the third and final background. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add marks to each of these backgrounds to create my 3 different colors. these rice papers are very, very thin, so I'm like trying to be delicate and get a little more paint on there. But be careful when they're wet with paint; they tend to rip. For the first mark making, I'm using a Sophia Button stamp from her Whim Wonder Rings stamp collection, which you can find at PM Artist Studio. Now, a good tip is not to overload your stamp with acrylic paint. Otherwise, your impression is not going to be crisp like you want it. It's going to be a little bit smooshy. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am moving the stamp ever so slightly to the left and to the right, all around, for each impression, because the circle on that stamp, the center one, is offset. So if you turn it every which way, you get a different kind of look, so everything doesn't look exactly the same. Here's the tip to those of you new to using foam stamps. Don't let acrylic paint dry on them, because it creates a coating over the details of the stamp that won't allow you to use regular inks. So have a container of water next to your working area, drop them in, and the paint usually just falls off. Or you can just rinse them off and they're ready to go again. And for the red one, I'm using my own stamps. These are Kernels Style 1. There is a large one, which is the one I have in my hand at the moment. And then there's a smaller one. You'll see that in a second. I'm going to use that as a spacer while I'm printing my large kernels. And for the gold paint, I'm using the deep gold from Amsterdam, which is one of my favorite golds. And it looks really good against this red. So for this print, I decided to do a pattern all over, really tight, but I'm using the two different sizes of the kernel stamp to give it just a little bit more interest. Gold and red is such a great combination, and I absolutely love it. I love how this print is turning out. For the Nautilus print, I'm using bronze from Liquitex Basics and a new stamp, brand new stamp from my friend Becky Bokern. It's called Quilty is Charged, and there's also a stencil version of this as well. For this one, I decided to keep it simple, just do the same stamp all over as evenly as I could. And again, I kind of like twisted the stamp a little bit, so each time it was a different position. All right, let's get started on the first collage. I'm using a black chipboard, and they're 5. I cut them each 5 by 7. So from a 12 by 12 piece of chipboard, 12 inch by 12 inch, you get 3 5 by 7 pieces, if you measure it correctly. And I've grabbed some gel prints that I did, in a different time, and I'm going to use it to mix it up with the gel print I did today. And for my adhesive here, I'm just using a white glue, like an Elmer's glue, and that'll work just fine. And this is a cool gel print. It was a brayer off that I added a little bit more stuff to, but essentially it's a brayer off, and I love it. And I've been dying to use it, but I haven't found the right project until now. And that little nifty tool that you see on my finger is a craft knife for just your finger. So a wonderful subscriber sent that to me and said that I could probably use that. And this is my first time using it. I kind of like it. Well, that background is all set. That just needs to dry. And for my what do they call these? My Whim Wonder rings. I'm gonna cut a couple of these out and use them on my collage. And I'm thinking I want to do like a tree using these stamps as, or this paper here as the leafy tree part. It's taken a little bit to get used to this knife thing, this craft knife, but I kind of like it. All right, now this cool print, that was a stencil, gel print I created using a tree stencil by Lucy Ames, I believe is her name. She's a designer at PM Artist Studio, and you can find that there. So what I did is I flipped the paper over, obviously, and I am drawing, sort of sketching out what I want as a tree or a plant stock. At this point, I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around with it. All right, so now I'm just gonna do a couple of little details here, like filling in the centers with a green acrylic pen. I'm gonna use my gold pen here to fill in those smaller dots. And then I forgot I had this for the longest time, but during my reorganization, I found them again, and it's the Nouveau Crystal Drops. They are, wait, where did I write that? I wrote it on the wrong page. I made notes for myself. The Nouveau Crystal Drops Morning Dew is the color, and it dries clear, and you get this really cool look and a texture. And you'll see that at the end of the video. All right, let's do collage number 2. Now this one, I'm just starting again with the Elmer's glue, and I'm not cutting up the blueprint or the Nautilus print. I'm gonna use that print as the background. And I kind of shaped out where I wanted to use, because I wanted it to have a little bit of motion and not just 3 lines across, you know? And it's important that you use a scraper and you scrape from the center out, because you will get bubbles sometimes with the rice paper. And if you're afraid to use the scraper, just use your finger and, work out the bubble, or if it's extra glue under there, kind of just push it gently. You'll get it fixed. And then I had another print. It was a print I did recently, several videos ago actually, where I used baby powder and cornstarch as a resist on the gel plate, and it gave you some really, really cool effects. So I am using that print. I cut out some circles and just making some wacky little flowers to put on the collage. And of course, I gotta do it up and add some details with my white acrylic pen. Now, this is a beautiful print I did, but I'm only taking this little sliver off the side because I'm going to use it to make stems for my cool, funky flowers. Unfortunately, that one kind of blends in, but it looks that way on camera. But when you turn it, it stands out. I have to. You'll see at the end the photo um, of this particular collage. You can see the details a lot better. I think it's done. Now let's trim up those stems and move on to the next part. And the next part, of course, it's gold. I'm outlining all my beautiful flowers with my gold pen. Now, at the last minute, I decided I wanted to have some clouds. So using that same print that you can see there on the left, I cut out some little cloud shapes. Now for the next one, I have this really cool print. It's a one-off print that I created in one of my late night gel printing sessions, testing out a stencil. And it's not a stencil that's available, unfortunately. It's just something I did and have not decided if I'm going to put it out or not. Anyway, you can use different numbers, whatever. I have also tile numbers, like they're just like one number on one tile, and you can, stencil through that. But yeah, I love that print. It's got all kinds of cool colors, and I think it's going to go really good with the red gel print that we did earlier and the gold kernel stamping all over it. That should be really cool. And for a little added touch of whimsy, I'm outlining some of these sardines. These are sardines created with my friend Paula's stencil called Sardines. And I had done this gel print a while ago, and I knew I wanted to use it, but again, didn't know what for, so I saved it. So now I'm going to outline 3 of them, cut them out, and add them to the collage. Now for this print, I didn't, use the entire thing, or I didn't use big chunks, just tiny pieces. And when you're making collage paper prints, think about that, like scale of what scale do you work in when you're doing like a collage or something. Do you always go for smaller designs? Do you go for larger designs? Do you go for more of a repeating pattern or a mixture? So that's what I kind of keep in mind when I'm working on collage papers. Now, if you wanted to, if you purchase this stamp, you can cut it into, cut one piece off, and you have a single kernel and then a double kernel, or you can just cut all 3 out and have 3 different kernels. And once you buy it, you can do whatever you want. I just use a craft knife and carefully go in between, and yeah, do it up. This has been a really fun video to make. I think I did a fantastic job with these collages. I'm proud of myself for these, that's for sure. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you give it a try. Don't forget to hit like, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification button too, so you're notified whenever one of my videos or shorts pops up on your feed. Thanks everybody. Stay tuned for the pictures. Bye.